This is terrible. Dahlgren, Nesson, Jack, all in the playoffs. We got nothing left to live for. I couldn't even make it this year. There's only one thing left to do. I need a vacation. I'm gonna go to Florida and kill myself. So small. It's the Jason Servos' penis of airports. What? Mark Ingram is out for the season? The third best running back in fantasy football on Dahlgren's team? He's out! That means there's a chance Dahlgren will win. There's a reason to live. A reason to live. Okay, well, let's go to this week's matchups.
Playoffs? Don't talk about playoffs. You kidding me?
All right, well, let's start with the most anticipated matchup of this first round here in the LHG playoffs. It's Mick, who just snuck in as the 6th spot, going against the highest scoring team in the league, Allen Nesson, at the number 3. And this is going to be close. Let's start at the quarterback position, the most important position here in this matchup, and it starts with Jameis Winston. He's throwing the ball like he just crammed a bunch of crab legs in his sweatpants, and he is on fire. As you can see, Antonio Brown, also a big point scorer for Allen Nesson, projected to get 26 against the Bengals. Unbelievable point production now that Ben Roethlisberger is back. Okay, I guess I'm still showing highlights of Ben. Yep. There's Antonio Brown. He's going to be doing that a lot against the Steelers. But let's go over to the other side. Todd Gurley for Mick has been a great pickup. He slowed down of late, playing the Detroit Lions, who are starting to finally play defense. Projected to score 15 points this Sunday. I look for that to be a key component in Mick winning the game, if he indeed does. He's going to need it from Todd Gurley. Also, of course, the always dependable Odell Beckham Jr. playing the Dolphins Monday night. The Dolphins D is abysmal. Look for lots of points there. Only projected to score 19. Eli's been a little shaky. But Blake Bortles, here is my wild card pick. Blake Bortles has been on fire as well, throwing 5 touchdowns last week, and he's going up against the Indianapolis Colts defense. This is your X Factor. Look, my gut is telling me that I shouldn't eat that packet of powdered gravy in the parking lot, and also that Mick Barton is going to pull up the upset, and he's taking on a very wounded John Dahlgren. In the other matchup, it's the 4 versus the 5. Jack Molitor versus Dan Nicholas, former champion versus former champion. And boy, this one's going to be close too. Let's start off at Allen Robinson, who's had a nice string of games. Like I mentioned earlier, he's going against the Colts. But Andy Dalton's going to be a big play here against the Pittsburgh Steelers. If Andy gets at least 30, he's in good shape. But let's look at Dan Nichols' team. Tyrod Taylor playing awesome, projected to get 25, along with Adrian Peterson, who did only get 12 points in that matchup on Thursday night. But John Brown had an amazing game, scoring 17 points.
I just think Dan Nichols is going to take it this week. It's going to be close. Jack's going to put up one heck of a fight. But taking stock in too many Patriots sub-players is never a good idea. Dan Nichols going to win this one and take on Jason Zervos for the match of the century next week. Okay, well, I didn't forget about you suck-asses over there in the Hoffa Bowl and the Bronze Cup, if you will. Myself, I have a bye, as well as Joe Murdoch, so we're automatically disqualified for the Hoffa. Let's go to the first matchup. James Yarnell, the two-time... You know what? James is going to lose. He plays Hobby. Is James in the Hoffa Bowl. Duh. He's going to lose. Let's see who he takes on. It's Eric DeVault versus Pat O'Connor. Two former guitar players of mine and James. Really, it's going to come down to a few things.
So, Eric, your quarterback is Alex Smith. Very unlikely he's going to get over 40 points. Here's another problem. Larry Fitzgerald, only 9 points projected to the 20 he was supposed to score against the Vikings. But Matt Ryan, he's been benched, actually, by Pat right now that I see. But he's still got A.J. Green playing against Pittsburgh, projected to score 18 points. Here's the X factor for Pat. Sammy Watkins all day, every day, avoiding the Hoffa Bowl.
It's just that simple. Pat's got way better players than Eric, and I think he takes on James in the Hoffa Bowl, bearing some catastrophic event from all of those good players that Pat has. Looks like Hoffa's either going to stay at home or it's going to find a new place in Cleveland Browns territory. That looked great right next to the Cleveland Brown mural on your wall, Eric. It makes so much sense. Well, that's it. Thank you, Mark Ingram, for getting hurt and giving me a reason to live. That was this week's playoff roundup. We'll have a normal format next week. Good luck to everyone in the playoffs. Until then, this is JD Brick, your commissioner, signing off. Also, try this microwave again. This was great.
Playoffs? Playoffs? Playoffs?